Are you ready for next level growth in your business? Welcome to the Lindsay Anderson Show, where we pull back the curtain on the exact strategies, tools, and mindsets that build million-dollar empires. If you're hungry for more time, more freedom, and a whole lot more impact, you've come to the right place. Buckle up, because we're about to ignite your business journey. Now, here's Lindsay.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of The Lindsay Anderson Show. I'm so excited for today's guest expert, Mr. Ricky Cedillo. He brings over 4 years of experience as a real estate investor and 2.5 as a real estate agent, offering a wealth of knowledge and expertise to his clients. Currently, Ricky is the top producer of a high-performing team ranked among the top 10 in Oregon. As a certified mentor, relocation specialist, and certified real estate negotiation expert, he is dedicated to providing exceptional service and consistently delivering outstanding results for his clients. I'm really excited to bring Ricky on today because he is killing it with social media as a real estate agent, and we're going to ask him all sorts of questions today. Welcome to the show, Ricky. So glad to have you on.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for that introduction, Lindsay. I really appreciate it. What an honor, first of all, for inviting me on. And I look forward to giving as much value as I can to everybody listening. Thanks for having me.
Ricky and I spoke at a really great event here in Oregon earlier this year, and Ricky got up and really shared about how he has become one of these top ranked among the top 10 in Oregon on that team, all through social media. Ricky, how do you feel about social media?
Oh, man. It doesn't really get any better than free advertising and just reaching so many more people for basically $0. And as a real estate agent, like I said, you can't beat that. As any small business owner, you can't really beat that. I am fully on board with the social media.
I love that. And you know what I really respect about you, and really why I was like, I gotta get Ricky on here because you've been a realtor for 2.5 years. Is that right? And you're killing it. So can you describe your successes that you've had in the last 2.5 years so we can really understand this momentum that you have?
Oh gosh, yeah. Where do I start? So I was born in Salem. No, I'm just kidding. So starting out as an agent, they tell you to have 2 to 3 months worth of reserves. I started off working at the Oregon State Penitentiary, and 8 years later, I made a transition to real estate. You have to have some thick skin to work at a penitentiary as a correctional officer, and so you just take that thick skin and you move it on over. So then when people tell no, get away from me, get off my porch, and you're just like, oh, okay. It doesn't affect you as much. Having that thick skin kind of comes from that initial career. And then it got to a point where I was dipping my hand in a bunch of different pots, figuring out what works for me, door knocking, phone calls, social media, all the things that you can think of to try to figure out what works best for me in my business. I did two things right after I figured out what worked for me, which I started seeing it be in social media. I started to focus just on social media and then also in my community. So the community I knew very well, which is Independence Monmouth. Grew up there, graduated from Central. So know a lot of people there, have a lot of deeper connections. And so I focus on my town and really putting out content on my social media that I think would be for people around my age range because the typical first time home buyer is 33 or 35. And so I'm 33 and putting out content that I would like to see for myself. And then that would resonate and bring the avatar of client that I'd want. And so once I started really focusing on that, things really started to turn around. And I'd have to do a lot of door knocking and phone calls and stuff like I had to before.
Yeah, and I think you're bringing up a really good point on this, which is a lot of people view like my real life people and then like my social media people, where you're like sewing these guys together. I already know a bunch of people in the community. I'm using social media as a way of communicating with them and talking with them and having a platform with them. And it just becomes part of what you do in real life. It just so happens to be on social media. It's not so cut for you.
100%. And of course, there's always things that I could be better at. I see your social media, Lindsay, and I'm just like, man, I wish I had the guts to just go on there and record my day and talk about what I'm doing throughout the day because that is what captivates people. Working on that. I'm getting to that stage, but for now, I just do a lot of the back end things. 'Cause you could post a video, you could post 30 videos, but it doesn't mean it's being seen by everybody. And so I like to do a lot of more of those comments, likes, DMs, sharing, things like that. One of these days, I'm going to get to your level, Lindsay, where I can actually get out there and talk to people just like you're doing now.
I love that. And Ricky, just to line that out for everybody, you're not posting like a lot of content out there on social media. You're using social media as a way of and having conversations with and supporting people on your feed of other people. That's primarily how you're getting clients on social media.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's multiple different avenues for me to get clients. I utilize the Facebook groups, like the big ones that already have 40, 50, 60,000 followers. And I utilize those. I've created a couple myself where I've gotten business from as well. My own personal page, I don't really use my business page as much because all of my people are already on my personal page. So I didn't really, I made a business page, just don't use it as much. Nowadays, everything's pretty fluid. When you post to Instagram, automatically post to your business page. So that makes it pretty easy to post on there. I mostly just post content. I used to post 2, 3 times a week, which is what really made that base for my business, followers and getting people interested in asking questions. And then once I started getting busy, like I mentioned in that summit that we were both speaking at, you can tell when Ricky's got business because you don't see as many videos or things going on. And then once all of those close, you do this uphill battle where you got all these closings or you don't have a lot going on. So you have the time to actually post and you can see the ebbs and flows of what business looks like. And I'm honing that in a little bit. And I have a lot of things actually in place that started today to help me even that out. So that way I have time to post more and also interact with people and do business at the same time.
I love it. And another reason why I had you on the show is I think most people's perception of social media is if I post content, then people will just reach out to me and then I'll get these customers coming in. But really, social media, and I wanted you on the show to underline this, it is about content. Sure, that helps, but it really is about the relationships and the DMing and the acting like they're a real person right in front of you and you're communicating with them.
Oh, absolutely. And I have a really good story about that. So I posted, I'm looking for a specific house for a client of mine. And I posted just a general post on Sweet Home. It's like a Sweet Home site. I was like, hey, I'm looking for this type of a house in this price range, which is like not very high, especially for Oregon. And I get a lot of trolls when I do this. When you do anything in real estate, people love to use real estate agents as the butt of the jokes. They're just like, oh, you could get a tent for that. Or yeah, maybe you could buy a shack for that amount. People always like to, but my favorite thing is kill them with kindness because you can't be mean to somebody who's extra nice. And so when they say something really negative on my post, which first of all helps the algorithm
Thank
anyways.
you. Yes.
Second of all, if I post something super nice, it is really hard for them. Second of all, when I post back on there, again, helps the algorithm, but usually I'll ask a question or I'll say, hey, thank you for your input. I've actually talked with a few people who have a house that fits this criteria. I'd love to help you find something if that's something you're interested in. And just I'd love to be a resource for you if there's anything that you need. And instantly you can tell the change of tone. And I did that to somebody and he actually messaged me. And this is not the first time this happened. And he was just like, hey, man, like, I just wanted to let you know, I think it's cool you're finding these houses for your clients. We've actually been looking for a long time and we can't find anything. Our other realtor would just set us up on a home search and not actively search. And so I really was hoping that you might be able to help me find a house. I was like, dude, absolutely. I'd be more happy to help you. He's like, also, my friend is moving and he needs a realtor. And I'm like, so that's two people just from being super nice and commenting.
When I was on Netflix, we got a lot of comments coming in and we tried handling them in a few different ways, but the best way is exactly what you're saying is first of all, knowing people read the comments, like, thank you for your comment. And then second of all, like your response there is so crucial. Like it is advertising for your company as well. And so killing them with kindness and not being so defensive about what they have to say is really just the key to showing up well in the comments.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I will say it does take a paragraph of me just saying what I actually want to say to that person and then deleting it and being like, okay, right.
Little entry to feel better. Yeah.
So you're like fingers on send and you're like, can't do that.
I can't do that. Phoner. I like that. A little self-control there, Ricky. I love. Now, before we hopped onto this interview, I asked you, hey, how's business going? Just for people listening, we're looking at December. Okay. We're December 3rd here. The real estate market is usually a little bit slow at this time because people have their focus on other things. What was your response to me there, Ricky?
Yeah, business right now is going really well. I actually just got through my hill going down towards my valley But the thing about it is that the valley's not going to last very long because of what I just told you. I've made that post and I got 4 listing appointments out of it and 2 buyers. So that's 6 potential clients that could really go at any moment. 2 of them are ready to list ASAP. So I'll have 2 listings here in the next couple weeks, and then I have a listing going live on Thursday. And so it's instead of coming down the valley, it's more like it's just peaked out, which is good because it peaked out up top. I have plenty of business going into the slowest time where maybe a lot of people don't necessarily have that type of a business. And I've just hired help who started today and really looking to keep that momentum going into the winter.
When you're talking, just to be clear, when you're talking about this roller coaster effect, are you saying that when you post content, you don't crater out like that, but the fact that you get busy and stop posting content, then you do end up taking one of those dips and it really, that consistent content, can you speak to that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's exactly what I mean. So I like to do reels. I like to usually do funny reels that always circle back to real estate. That's like my thing. I love doing that. I like making people laugh. I'm not posting as much content. I'll post on my stories, but I don't so much post on feeds, which I think is really important. And when I do, it's usually what nobody wants to see, which is, hey, just sold this or close on this. People see that. And yes, it's good to post that just because it's better than nothing, but at the same time, there's better quality content you can post. And also, I don't reach out to as many people when I'm super busy. So when people comment, sometimes they'll slip between the cracks when I'm really busy. So I can 100% see my business start when I'm really busy. I'm not filling the funnel with clients as much because I'm not posting as much on social media.
Makes sense. I like to post funny reels. Give us an example of how we're like tying something funny in, the cat picture in with some real estate. I'm just kidding. But like, what is that?
No, so have you ever watched Friday?
No, I have not.
Well, it's a pretty funny movie. Probably a crowd favorite reel that I've done. There's a couple that I think a lot of people really enjoy, but basically, I'll do a reel of somebody saying, "Oh, look at that neighbor over there. She better be ashamed coming out looking like that." And then it's just me doing a voiceover of a clip of Friday, and I'm coming out with my sold sign, and the neighbor goes, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Hey." They're like, "Oh, I'll call you later." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." It's basically just doing a voiceover. And then the whole point of that was saying that the neighbor went with another realtor and is trying to be nice to me. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like I'm going to work. Like I have my signs in my hand. And like I tailor that back into real estate and then I'll post in the caption, next time you need a cup of sugar, go to your realtor for it or something like that. Or go to your new
Love
realtor
that.
for it. Yeah. Just making light, funny movie clips and stuff like that is what I like to do.
A little pop culture in there. I love that. Tell me more about other content that you post. Is it mostly that, or what other content are you posting these days?
Yeah, so I do some talking head videos here and there, giving people an update of what the market's doing, giving people ideas of how to invest in real estate and what different avenues you can take to do that that maybe some people don't necessarily think about. So it's not always funny things. I post a lot in my stories. So what I'm doing throughout the day, mostly my kids, because people don't really care about me. They mostly care about my kids. And so I post them so people get content of what me and the family are doing. And so it's a mix of everything. But yeah, I'll post all kinds of funny talking videos and then just serious market analysis type videos and stuff like that and different strategies of how to use real estate to build a legacy, basically.
I like that. Now, you said something earlier. You said, sometimes I won't have the time to follow up on comments. What did you mean by that?
Yeah. So when somebody comments on something that I've posted, whether it be a reel or just something like I just mentioned, where I'm looking for something in particular and somebody says something that may not even be relevant to the post. If I'm busy doing something or in a meeting and I just forget about it and I don't post, or if I don't comment back to that, that's what I was referring back to is if I don't comment back, then that post usually just dies out. The minute you continue to comment, the more it and I told that guy too, because he wasn't very happy that I was liking the other guy's comment that was saying, leave him alone. This is a great, and he's just like, you liked all of his comments. I was like, yeah, but I liked yours too, because it builds the algorithm and keeps that post to the top of the page. He's, oh, okay. And he went back and he noticed I liked everybody's comment, even if it was a rude comment. I liked it. I don't care. And
Yeah,
then
thanks for your engagement. Thanks for your
yeah,
support. Yeah, you're
exactly.
still fun.
Exactly.
Um, do you so when people make comments on your social media posts, do you ever go DM them or do you have any strategy around that? I just want to make sure that I'm responding to all of the comments.
So every once in a while, it really depends. If it's like a troll person that I know after a couple comments isn't going to be friendly, then I just let that comment thread die out. But if it's somebody who is very positive and nice, I'll go as far as to add them as a friend. Just add them as a friend, comment on the thing, and then however that works out, down the road, they'll see my content.
They'll see your content.
So I had some people reach out saying that they did have a house. Then yeah, I'll comment or I'll message them. I'll say, hey, I'll send you a message, and I'll message them, and then we'll have that conversation. Every once in a while, I will use the stories as a way to get into people's DMs.
Share the strategy.
Yeah, no, that's one of my favorite things to do is comment on stories to get in the DMs. And then as the algorithm shows, hey, Ricky and Lizzie, they talk to each other not only in comments, but Ricky's engaging in answering the poll questions, or Ricky is engaging in messaging in the DMs, not just on comments on her posts and stuff. And now I just get a flood of your content always on my page. And so that is the goal between messaging on stories to get into the DM, because that really helps the algorithm.
So are you saying that you're commenting on people's stories or you're wanting people to comment on your stories?
Both. I comment on other people's stories, and typically I'll ask them a question. For example, if someone posted about going to watch Moana on Thanksgiving, I'll ask them, "Oh, hey, what did you think of it? We went and saw it." So I'll ask them a question, so that way they reply back, and that creates a algorithm exchange that shows that we like to talk to each other. And so I'll see theirs, and then they'll see my stuff as well.
The algorithms want you to meet after any DM or any interaction, then it's going to test you out. So
Right.
you have your ideal client out there and you're outreach and not just sitting back waiting for people.
And also, when you add somebody as a friend and they add you back and now you're friends, you'll see stuff from 6 days ago that they
Yeah.
did. And I just go on there and comment, because obviously we just became friends and they know that. And so I'll just comment and say, oh my gosh, what a cute baby, or what a fun place. It looks like you guys just went on vacation. Small talk like that. And a lot of times they'll comment back, oh, thank you so much. It was a great time, or whatever.
What are your DMs? Are you having a lot of DM conversations? Do you do a lot of back and forth on the DMs?
Yeah, I do have a lot of DM conversations. I would say I probably do random people, probably like 5 to 8 people a day. I try to reach out to just different people on DMs and just start conversations. The smallest thing can spark a conversation. And so I just try to reach out to as many people as possible.
Ricky has this dialed in. Was there a point where you were like, okay, I don't need to do any of that other marketing stuff that I was? You probably do it lightly, but like where you're all in on social, where you're like, this is working. Was there like an aha moment for you?
Yeah, there was actually a couple of my lending partners. So Andrea, she puts on the summit, she puts on a lot of events, and we get sponsors for those events. This lending duo, and their names are James and Travis Synergy One Lending. They sponsored this event, and they came in and they were on their social media journey. They came back from a Las Vegas event. They were super hyped up. They're like, man, social media is the way to go. And they really got you hyped about it. Right. And I had dabbled in it here and I made a couple videos, but I still was just like, oh gosh, I'm so cringy. And I was battling with that. But people saw some of those videos that were in the room, and they're like, we need one person to volunteer for us to show you how social media can really help. I didn't say a word, but everybody was like, Ricky will do it. Ricky will do it. And I'm just like, oh gosh, there was probably about 40 people in the room. And so they had me go up in front of everybody and sit there, and they had a script and a phone, and they're just like, just read the script. And I fumbled through that script 5 times. I was so embarrassed. I was like, dude, everybody's here. Literally, the light was on me. Everybody was laughing because I was messing up. Eventually, I just suffered through it. I did the video. They continued with their presentation about social media. At the end of that, he had already completed like a talking head video about what I just did. And he gave it to me, and he's like, hey, it's ready to post. You can go post it today. And I was like, okay. So I posted it that day, and it's probably the second most viewed video that I have. And it was just a post. It really got my attention of, wow, I probably only had, it wasn't a lot, but it was probably like 8 or 10,000 views that I got on it. And I realized that was seen by thousands of people. And how easy was that for me to just do that? That was my aha moment, where I was just like, I got in front of thousands of people, which otherwise would have taken me hours and hours door knocking and phone calling or networking to meet that many people. And so that was my aha moment, where I was just like, okay, this one video got me in front of thousands of people. Imagine if I continued to just make videos. Then down the road, I learned more about social media and how to manipulate that algorithm to get people to actually see my content on their feeds. But that was
The original aha moment. Now, you've talked a lot about obstacles that you faced, getting consistent, this ebb and flow kind of situation. Is there any other obstacles that you've overcome that you can shed some light on for real estate agents listening to this as far as
oh my gosh. I can't tell you how many times I hear exactly what I just said, like cringy people feel when they're on camera. And I will say that I still have a little bit of that hurdle to get over just because talking like this with your real voice, even though you can edit it here and there as far as like making sure cutting out the uhs and ums, if you get over that and you just start posting, you just post it because you already look like what you look like. People who already know you and know what you sound like, know what you look like. They already know you. You being on video is just you. They don't think anything of it. People who don't know you that are going to see you for the first time, there's no difference of them seeing you on camera as they would in person because you're going to look the same. You're going to sound the same. So you just need to get over yourself and get on camera. Who cares? Don't wait till you lose that 15 pounds. Don't wait till you got makeup on. Don't wait till you grow out your beard. Like none of that stuff matters. Just post and comment on everybody's comment. So when somebody says, "Oh wow, great video," comment on that. And then eventually you'll get numb to any feeling of like cringiness when you make your videos. People who aren't going to use you as their realtor or use you in their business, they're going to unfollow you and you don't want those people on your page. If
yeah,
it's cringe to them and they don't want to see it, they can unfollow you because they probably weren't going to use your service. So then you really weed out everybody who isn't going to be a benefit to you in your life and everybody who cares about you, loves you, knows you, and actually has a potential to use your services will stay. And those are the people you want to work with anyways.
I love it. I view it's very much the spotlight effect. You think people care way more than they do. Like, how many subpar social media posts have we all scrolled quickly past today? A
Oh yeah.
lot. Nobody cares. And it's really about doing the reps, right? Like, you got to build those calluses and know you're not going to die when you publish that video. So do 10 of those and build up those calluses.
100%. Nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. All right. What is something that the audience can do daily if they're ready to take 2025 by storm? They want to be serious about social media. What am I doing daily?
If you could start out slow and just comment on other people's things, right? Liking is okay, but I wouldn't just stop at liking their posts. I would move past that. Comment. People post things because they want to be seen. They want people to see what they've put out there. And when you're acknowledging what they put out there, they have that positive mindset the next time you comment and the next time. And then now they're just like, oh, Ricky's been commenting on all my things. We actually started thinking about buying a house and Ricky's always there. He's relentless and he's posting videos. Like I can't tell you how many times I've gotten business just from that's the key is just being front and center. Andrea likes to put it like this because she used to work at a Nordstrom. She used to work at the shoe rack and I can't take any credit from this, but this is just a perfect way to illustrate it. When somebody goes and looks at the shoes on the shoe rack, it was her job to come up and say, "Hey, can I help you with anything?" And usually their first knee jerk reaction is, "Oh, no, I'm good. I'm just looking." So then they continue to look on that shoe rack. And when they're ready to buy something, are they going to actually go find the first person that said, "Hey, let me know if you need help"? Or are they just going to pick the first associate that's right there? And if you're the first one that's right there, if you're the first person they see, if you're consistently there, and when they're ready to buy your service or buy a home or whatever, if you're already right there and you're the first one they see, you're going to be the first one that they talk to. And when you're commenting on people's stuff, you're going to be the first person they think of when they decide to take that next step towards whatever service you're offering.
The stat is only about 5% of the people in your pipeline are ready to buy at any given moment. So you better be that shoe associate that's asking them if they need help when they're ready. And the only way to cover your base on that is to remain consistent and have this habit and really invest the time and energy into it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love it. What do you see as the future of social media and real estate, Ricky?
Oh man, it is ever growing. Right now, you're already seeing ChatGPT and the AIs coming out of the woodwork and really taking over the space. And I feel like if you're not on top of it, you're going to be behind it. And I just see ChatGPT and whatever type of AIs that are going to be coming out is just going to be huge. And so as much knowledge and information that you can learn about those systems, the better off for your business it's going to be. Stay on top of those, take classes, learn about it as much as possible. And yeah, just stay on top of it, stay ahead of the game.
Don't get left behind. Don't get left behind on that one. Ricky, what is one thing you wish you would have known before you started this whole thing?
That is a great question. I wish I would have known that just because I was getting my license didn't mean that people were going to come out of the woodwork and say, Ricky, I need to buy or sell a house. Being in real estate is a full-time job. It's just beneficial because you get to pick and choose when you work, and you can work from many other places. I would say put as much into it as you want out of it. The more you put into it, the more you will get out of it. It's just a grind. It's a continuous posting, commenting, building relationships, networking, getting up in front of the camera, speaking about things, speaking about your experience. I'm only 2.5 years in the business. And anytime I have a chance to give value to other people, might help them along the process. I did a social media reel class. I did a couple of classes for social media. I showed people for free. It was a 3-hour class to where they walked out of there with a reel. And it wasn't just realtors. It was small businesses. It was coffee shop owners. It was lenders. It was any business that needed help with advertising. I helped them for free. I showed them how to use CapCut and how to change do the transitions, stuff like that, however they wanted to make their video. So I would just say, put in the work, make the relationships, and give value to people without expecting anything in return.
I love that. Thank you, Ricky. Ricky, what a pleasure. Thank you for letting me ask you all of these questions about your strategy today. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show. Before I let you go, I'm going to turn the time over to you. Let everybody know how to find you and then anything else you want the audience to know.
Yeah, no, thanks. So you can find me on all the socials. The main ones that I use are Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And it's Instagram is Real Estate Ricky with 2 Y's. And you'll see me and my cute little family. Same thing with Facebook. It's just Ricky Cedillo, Cedillo. And TikTok, yeah, same thing. Real Estate Ricky Cedillo on there. And if you need anybody in the Valley at all for any type of real estate investing, me and my wife are investors ourselves, first time home buyers, or if you're looking to sell your house, whatever real estate needs that you need, even if it's not real estate needs and you need contractors, attorneys, whatever, I have a hub. I have a whole source of tools and people and relationships that I've built that I'd be more than happy to share with you. Or if you're somebody who is looking to be a realtor and get into real estate and want to learn more about that process and take the course and start your career in real estate, I also help with that as well. So all things real estate, all things resources, I'm just your go-to person. So feel free to reach out to me on any of those platforms and be happy to help.
Thanks, Ricky. What a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you, Lindsay.
There you have it, folks. Another really amazing episode of The Lindsay Anderson Show. Before you go and you are wanting to know how to generate more high quality leads from social media, you're a real estate agent, an insurance agent, you are a service-based business owner, and you want to know my simple 4-step system for doing what Ricky and I talked about today, make sure that you get signed up for my upcoming workshop. All you need to do is head over to lindsay.com/workshop. Get signed up for that. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
That's a wrap for today's episode of The Lindsay Anderson Show. If you loved this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share how you're leveling up your business. Want more? Connect with Lindsay Anderson and get the tools you need to crush your goals at lindsaya.com. Until next time, keep pushing, keep growing, and turn those business dreams into reality.